Hi guys, Jen with Astro T. Today we are talking about on January 13th, this upcoming Monday, the full moon in Cancer, plus other lunar influences that we have going on with the nose changing signs on the 11th. So this is all about freeing yourself. So this full moon in Cancer is at 23 degrees 59 minutes. And it's about really finding out, what do you really want from life? Like, are you really happy, or do you need something more? So the lunar nodes will be moving from the Aries Libra axis, which we have here, and into the Pisces axis, so a Pisces Virgo. So it would be the north node here, and then the south node here in Virgo, because they move the opposite way of the planets. So, and this is going to be for the next about 15 months to 18 months, until April of 2026. And they haven't been here for about 18 and a half years. That's about how long their cycle is fully. So already we are seeing a shift, just, to go after it, to a lighter look, where we look into ourselves and decide again, what is it that we really want? And are we sincerely happy? Pisces is a very different feeling than Aries is. So it's more spiritual. It's more just that mental, that crown chakra energy. And you're going to be feeling like you're about to just embark on a spiritual journey, and one that, can even bring with it bigger benefits than the aggressive nature of Aries, because you are downloading what is really in your mind and not just going after something without care. And now this is, again, the north node going to be moving into Pisces. That's going to happen tomorrow. I couldn't fit it in there because Pisces is chock full. The full moon in Cancer just adds to the water in this chart, because we also have Mars in Cancer. So we have here Cancer, which has Mars and the moon. Then we have Pisces, which is going to have Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node in there. So lots of wateriness going on with this chart coming up. So this can really have us feeling, that we're drowning. We could feel like we're just like treading water, just trying to keep our heads above water. And it's just like we're bobbing along, almost like you're in a boat, bobbing along under a dark sky. The motor stopped working and you're just sitting there, because that Mars is retrograde. Emotions can feel really cold and dark at this time. It could be excessively moody. Kind of like, remind me of that Eeyore was like, oh, poor me. It just always has something glum to say. I'll be stuck here forever. I'll never get to do what I want, because you have that, the forward motion is just not there as much when we have Mars in retrograde. So that aggressive forward motion is not there. We're at the point, at this peak, because a full moon is a peak, of course, and it's at a climax. So with this full moon in Cancer, it's a breaking point. So this is really just kind of, that's, it's not a new start, but it's like all right, this is enough. This is hit its peak. And now, I got to see what my gut is telling me, because when you're in the water signs, it's all, it's that intuitiveness. That is what your strong point is at this time. So you can feel what is working and what is not working. So just, you're sitting in that boat, just look up at the sky and just sit there, the dark water all around you. But look, the full moon is reflecting off the water, almost pointing the way, and it has that little ripply effect. And that is your transformation. That's where you need to go. So you need to feel where that is pulling you, and where that wants to take you, because this is your year of transformation. Don't let it pass you by, because now is the time to really just dive off that boat and just swim towards that light, and swim on that path, and just get yourself started, because this is just that year. Now is the time to do it. Anything that you've been putting off, you want to really really just start thinking about how I'm going to go for this and how I'm going to make this a reality. The nodes changing signs will be conjunct Neptune in the last degree of Pisces. So you see how Neptune's right here at the end at the 27th degree, and then the nodes move on in. So they're going to be within 3 degrees of each other. So for those of you who don't know what the nodes, let's talk about them first. So they actually aren't celestial bodies in the sky. There are points in the sky. The North Node is pretty much our destiny. It's where we can evolve to in this light. So it's that growth, it's that potential that this life has to offer us. And of course, the South Node is where we feel comfortable. It's our comfort zone. It's what we fall back on when things might get to be too much. The North Node can also be very tempting. And these temptations can be excessive and they might not be super healthy for you because this is Rahu, and sometimes Rahu is seen as kind of a negative because it does give us those temptations like that go after it with all or nothing kind of mentality. But these are not our nodes in, of course, our personal charts. These are the nodes that are transiting. So you want to really look and see where these fall in your chart and how you can use them to benefit you. So again, you can use this along with the ones that you have in your chart to see what you are destined for and how you could spiritually open your mind up to just see yourself in that place and then create that as fact and just make it a reality. So the Northern Pisces pushes us towards healing, and that is towards a more positive future because we always have to heal to move forward. We have to get rid of that baggage. It's a Jupiter ruled sign, don't forget. So really the sky is the limit. It's big, it's broad, it's barrierless. It doesn't have those Saturn constrictions. This is Jupiter and this is in Pisces. So the barriers are large and they're just blurred. So it's all blurred lines. So anything, whatever you want to do it. And don't always think you have to stay inside the box because this is about thinking outside the box. So we also have Venus and Saturn in here. We have Venus and Saturn in there as well. And again, Saturn is those lines, but they're blurred, and this can reflect on our careers, for instance, because Saturn, are we getting what we work hard for? So now is the time to think about, okay, so what am I working towards, and am I getting out of it what I need and what my needs are to move forward and to gain my goal is in this life, my evolution, what am I evolving to in this life? Venus is also here and she is in her exaltation, but is square to Jupiter, who is the ruler of the sign. No, picture not coming in front of here. So with that square, of course, that's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, even though they're both our benefics. So Venus can be about, those luxuries in life and those finer things in life and just, and the North Node, like I said, it can be that temptation. And, so you want to make sure you're not going to extremes because Pisces it can be that complete and total, just transcendental, spiritual, just overwhelming, just everything is just like at its peak. But it can also be a super low. It can be a very high or a very super low because Pisces also can be the temptation of mind altering things like alcohol, drugs, and those type of things, the things that aren't really healthy for us. And with Jupiter as the ruler, you see how addiction can play in here. Also with other bad habits like gambling can be an issue because Venus is involved, or overspending. So if you are, that's your temptation, is overspending, buying things, wanting to look perfect all the time, or, going to the casino, things like that. You want to kind of keep that under control a little bit, maybe watch that, especially if this is something that is in your chart as well. You want to use this escapism quality for good to escape from what is holding you hostage. The South Node is our comfort zone. But with Venus in Pisces during her retrograde cycle, um, we return back in March. We have to think again, is this is what's making us happy? It might feel good in the temporary, but does it really make us happy? And that could be, like I said, drugs, alcohol, gambling. It could be a sexual things in nature that you could be doing that could ultimately be harmful, but might feel good in the present, and might be that temptation, but it could be harmful in the long run. So again, you want to really, especially with that Venus retrograde coming up, this is really going to be a big Venusian time to really just sit and think about what you really want in life, and is where you're at right now really making you happy, and is what you're doing really making you happy. The South Node is in Virgo, and that is our everyday mundane routines, our everyday work. Virgo is about the work we put in, the work we do, just, going to work, going home from work every day, chores we do around the house. Now, are you happy here? Is your job your prison that you need to escape from? Is that what you're trying to get away from? Is it the chores around the house that you can't stand? Is it your fear of change? What is holding you back from going towards that North Node? So when we had that new moon in Capricorn, along with the winter solstice and the coming new year, I did a tarot reading. It's kind of a fun thing to do, and it pretty much spelled everything out, surprisingly. And it confused me at first, but when you really start looking into it, so I shuffled as you do. I visualized the changes on the horizon, because the whole world is going to be changing around us in 2025 and into 2026. So how can I handle all of it? And how am I going to change along with it? So once finished shuffling, go through the card, I find the devil card in the deck. And the devil does represent Capricorn. But it also represents, so you want to find that because it was the full moon in Capricorn, or the new moon in Capricorn, I'm sorry. But it also is those self-imposed limitations. It represents the habits that hold us and the fears that hold us back. Because if you look at the card itself, it has those loose chains that you could easily get out of, but you don't. So what are you choosing to let hold you? So I look at the card behind it, representing what to leave and let go of, and then the card in front of it and what to move towards. So just like the North and South nodes, you want to look behind and towards. So that card in the front was kind of like that evolution. Where do I want to move towards? The card in front for me was the Nine of Wands, and it was reversed. So no forward momentum there. I was extremely disappointed, but reading into it further, it did represent patience. Now, for me, patience is not a virtue that I have. I am not blessed with patience. I am extremely impatient. You can ask my husband when he's cooking dinner and I'm losing my mind in the background, acting like I'm about to die because I'm starving. So I'm someone that wants things a certain way. I'm set in my routines and in my regimen. So, that's a lot of Virgo South Node. And again, so it was about that patience. It was about letting go of those everyday routines. So then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So how am I going to pull away from what is holding me back if I just settle for these everyday routines? So I needed to release my fears, which and that is difficult, and be patient. It won't happen overnight, but with a good foundation, and that I should just go with my heart towards the life I want. So, y'all, I did exactly that. And I am not just preaching, I am practicing. So, did a little something in my life, that just something that kind of fell into my lap. And after 17 years of doing the same thing kind of every day, I went ahead and made that change. And it is terrifying, but I'm so excited for a new adventure to start. And so we'll see how that goes. And I just want you guys to feel the same, because it was that, well, I'm happy doing this enough. But am I really happy? No. And I just, the boredom, and it's just like, I need something more. And all of a sudden it just kind of fell into my lap. and I just had to go for it. And actually, so far, everything and everyone around me has been so positive about it, which is so Piscean. And it's not even, the North Node hasn't even moved into Pisces yet. So, really excited about my future and what I have going on. And I would love for you guys to do the same. If you are thinking about making a big change, let me know what you're thinking about doing, and we can pull your chart up and we can look through it together, and it would be a lot of fun. So, it's just very exhilarating, very freeing. And this whole thing is about just gaining that freedom and just breaking those chains, just saying, like, I'm doing it. And if it doesn't work out, okay, well, I guess I fucked up. So, we'll just have to see. I'll just have to do something else. So, but the balls are in motion, the wheels are in motion, my chariot is getting started. So, really excited. So, the North Node in Pisces, it tells us we need to heal again, like I said. So, great way to do that is opening that crown chakra and be more spiritual, and a lot of self-care. Now, I don't mean if you are in a workplace and you feel like I need to have my safe space at work, and if you need a safe space at work, then you need a new job. And the same thing with, like, if you are trying to find a safe space from your spouse, your significant other, or for a friend that might be not quite so positive in your life, or maybe a little bit toxic. These are the chains that you need to break free of. You need to find that strength to do it. Our Pisces rulers, again, at the time of the full moon, Jupiter is square to Venus, like I said. So again, be careful of those excesses, especially be careful of money issues and even sexual issues. You don't want to just do all those things willy-nilly. Just want to have some care, have fun, but not too much fun. That's going to get you hurt in the end. But Uranus is trine the sun and sextile, then it would obviously be sextile to the moon. So it's really making some nice aspects to the full moon, which really is a thing that pushed me to just kind of go ahead and, like, looking at my chart and doing what I did. I was just like, you know what, this just looks really positive, and it's that those changes that are spot on, that all of a sudden spur of the moment change that just, like I said, just fell into my lap. It was an opportunity. I took it, and everything, like I said, around me, everyone has been so positive about it. Just about opening your mind up and jumping in with 2 feet. Mercury is in Capricorn, so it's also about getting our minds focused. It's no nonsense. It's seeing and hearing through the bullshit, really. So you want to, don't let yourself get talked into anything. You want to stay focused. You want to stay grounded. And if this is your decision to make, you want to stay focused on it. Again, this is about freeing yourself and taking advantage. So another thing that with me is, it was really funny. And if you guys don't know anything about zodiacal releasing, definitely contact me. I'd love to look at how your days pan out. I had a peak period in Sagittarius, and it dwelled down, and it was like my level 6 peak, but that broke it down to the time. And I was waiting for a certain phone call, and my peak hit, and it was I think it was Gemini, Sag, Gemini, Sag, Gemini, Sag. So it was all those mutable signs, and it was back and forth, back and forth. That usually means that something big is going to happen, and this pointed out to 4:45 p.m. and that's exactly when I got the call that I wanted. So I said to my husband, see, I told you this stuff works. And so again, do not let time pass you by. Take the bull by the horns and just do it. And it might be scary. It, might not work out, but you don't know unless you try. So, take the time though to bob in your boat a little bit first, and appreciate the beauty around you, because again, don't forget, we have Mars in retrograde. So maybe jumping at it is not going to work out for you quite so much. My perfection year is Mars this year. Mars is really strong in my chart this year. Not always my favorite planet, but this year it's really done me better than it's done me in the past. So say so. Really happy about that. So lots of good things coming with my Mars this year, and just taking those initiatives and taking those steps, and things will work out in the end. So guys, go back, have some good wine, decompress in a hot bath, really like take on that watery, a lot of water, bring it on. You know, if you're feeling dry, you want to just let the steam just release your stress and your fears, fall into that meditative state, open your mind up, and go towards that future that you want. Evolve mentally and evolved just in your whole psyche, and get ready to make that change. So be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Again, please, I'd love to hear your comments, and subscribe, and let's navigate this future together. Hit that notification bell for things coming up. It's going to be a jam-packed year, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.